What you're about to see is a chaotic account of me trying to finish Ruthless Ends, the last book in my Marionettes series. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Katie Wismer. I am the author of the Marionettes series as well as many other books, and I'm currently working on the last book in that series. Working on is a generous term. Struggling might be a little more accurate, and vlogging has not been in the cards for me as of late, not consistently, but every once in a while I will poke my head out of this writing cave to update you, and that's what this vlog is. So I have no idea how long I'm going to keep up with this vlog, maybe till I finish the rough draft. I don't know. Maybe to celebrate at the end, we'll do a cover reveal for the book. That would be exciting. Yeah, I don't know. Enjoy. I think the best thing for me to do at this point is to stop trying to make this process easier and just accept that I'm struggling. I feel like everything I've done leading up to writing this book 4 has been like, how can I learn from the previous 3 books, the experience, to make this more streamlined, to, you know, try to avoid some of the struggles that I went through with those books, to, you know, get past those parts of the process. And none of it's worked. None of it's worked. Instead of like trying to avoid those parts of the process, I think I just needed to accept that those are parts of my process. Anyway, writing the rough draft of this book is going much slower than I wanted to. So we're gonna, starting now, we're getting serious about it. Not that I haven't been serious before, but we need to just push through this. We need a completed draft. We need to get it done. I did send the first 5 chapters to one of my beta readers yesterday. So other than my friend Paige, this will be the first person to read these chapters. And this is the beta reader who's worked on all of the Marionettes books with me so far. So I'm bringing her in before I've even finished the rough draft. I've never done that before, but I just really feel like I needed feedback, and I'm gonna keep working on the book as I send her chapters and hopefully finish it by the time I get there, you know? We'll see. There are very few things in this world that I dislike more than doing a meeting over Zoom. My social anxiety says no thank you.
The deadline to get it confirmed.
Today. This is starting to feel very full circle, because although these books have gotten longer as I've gotten into the series, like Wicked Souls and Bloodless Ties were both pretty long books. Way back when we were writing book 1, the rough draft was only 37,000 words. The completed draft of book 1. The published version, it's somewhere in the 70,000s now, but that first draft of the first book was so short. And so now as I'm writing book 4, my expectation has been that this rough draft is going to be closer to book 3's, which was like 100K just for the rough draft. And now we're sitting somewhere in the 50,000s, and I'm nearly to the end of what I have plotted, and I'm like, what is going on? And so I think for a while I was concerned that like something was wrong, that I needed to add a ton more stuff here. But what I have found is I think this is kind of similar to how I ended up having to revise book 2, where I just kind of like skipped over a lot of stuff in the middle. Not like skipped over intentionally, it's just I had these plot points that I knew were gonna happen, but I didn't know where. And I kept like pushing forward, not realizing that those needed to go earlier on. So I still have like this handful of things that I know are gonna happen in the book, but they need to happen somewhere earlier, and I just don't really know how to make those puzzle pieces fit just yet. So all of this is to say, I think we're getting close to the end of the book, like the actual ending. And then the rough draft I think is gonna be a lot shorter than I was anticipating, and I'm gonna have to go back and add a lot more into Act 2, which I haven't had to do in quite some time, so it's just throwing me off a little bit. I did write, I wish I could tell you more, I wish I could talk spoilers with you, but I just wrote a scene that I really hope readers love. Those of you who are into the romance and the shipping and you want those like moments, I hope you love this. I'm also about to get to a very dark, like messed up scene that I hope gives you nightmares. So I'm looking forward to writing that one. For some reason, this is taking 800 years to upload. I post these at 4 o'clock on Fridays. I mean, like, hopefully it'll be done by then. It's been a while and we're only at 14%. How is the Ruthless Ends writing going, you may ask? Well, I have come up with actually several scenes that I know I need to add and I'm excited to write that are gonna go somewhere in the middle area. I think that's what we were talking about in the previous clip. I don't know like where they're gonna fit in. I have my little planning thing here that I do with my, oh, I cannot show you those, that's so spoilery, note cards, but they're kind of like outdated at this point because I was using it to brainstorm, so some of those scenes didn't happen, or if it's not in that order or something. So I feel like I need to remake something before I can properly use it again to help figure out where stuff's gonna go. Don't look at how messy my room is. I don't know what the word count is. We're still somewhere in the 50,000s. It'll be on the screen. I feel like I'm gonna have to spend a lot of time like figuring out where these things go and like redoing my note cards. But then once we get that, I feel like we'll be full steam ahead because I really do feel like I have all of the pieces and I just need to like tweak a few things and everything's gonna click into place. So I feel like we're gonna struggle for a little while more and then we're gonna be good. Step 1. Figure out if the order of the scenes on the note cards is actually what's in the book now. I was gonna show you Mr. Dean, but he has decided he needs to just sit here and stare. I'm really hoping you can't make out any details from here. If you can, pretend you didn't see that. Why would you want to spoil yourself? That would be horrible. So you can see down here, I've got like a ton of crumpled up ones that I took down. And so the white ones are everything that is in the book right now until there. These are still like brainstorming things down here, but like that line, that's where it ends. And then sticky notes is like notes to myself. Yellow is like up there, it's just like general things I'm thinking about. And then a sticky note in yellow on each of those is like, I know I didn't do the transition. I don't like, this is not focusing, but I don't really want it to focus, so I guess that's okay. I know I didn't start that chapter. I like just jumped into a scene because I didn't know how I was gonna transition it. Or a couple of the chapters, I didn't know how to end them yet. And then the green sticky notes are like where I think I can put some new scenes I'm thinking about. And some of the yellow things too are like things I need to add to that scene. But that's kind of the system right now. So at the very least, I feel a lot more confident to sit down for whatever I do for my next writing session. Because anything on the green or the yellow I know is what I need to be doing. Anything in white, it's not like set in stone, but that's what's already in the book and I don't feel like needs to be touched at this point with this rough draft. Still figuring some things out down here. The whole ending still isn't up here. I'm basically trying to figure out how I'm gonna fix what's going on with these like last things down here before I can figure out how it's gonna affect the ending. I don't really know if that makes sense. There's the update. In conclusion, the further I get in the draft, it's not getting easier, it's getting more complicated. Endlessly more complicated. And I don't even want to say this because I don't want to like get people's hopes up, but like with everything that I add, everything that I do, I'm like, getting more ideas for like spin-offs. Like with these characters, I say spin-off, but like after this plot ends, like where I could go next. Like I have an idea for like a cliffhanger I would like to do. And I'm like, no, Katie, this is the last book. This is book 4. And I'm still in that space of thinking this is the last book. But man, the ideas, they're coming right now, which is a good problem to have, but they're messy and they're coming to me in these scattered puzzle pieces and I'm just a little overwhelmed, but I'm also kind of thriving. I love this kind of chaos. It would just also be nice if I could live in this chaos while also having a completed draft. That would make me feel better. I'm gonna feel so much better when we have this rough draft done. You know what, I'm actually gonna end this vlog today. I was thinking I was just gonna like let this go until I finish the book, and then I realized I only posted a single video all month and that's just kind of sad. So I have a couple of closing things I want to discuss with you, and hopefully this means we will get back into the vlogging because I kind of enjoyed doing this today. 3 things to discuss at the end here. 1, my most recent book, Broken Perfect Lies, came out last month. If you missed it, it's a standalone romantic suspense, kind of like stalker book. My mom read it recently and told me I'm not marketing it well. She's like, the Hannah Montana bodyguard romance like made me feel like it was going to be a lot more shallow than it was, and it's really this like stalker thriller. So that was her suggestion, to market it that way instead, if that sways you differently. If you have read it, I would appreciate it so much if you added your review to Amazon, and if you have read it, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for picking it up. It's in Kindle Unlimited. if you have that. Second thing, if you just need another book of mine, you're just dying for more. I've been doing a serialized release over on my Patreon page of my science fiction new adult book. I don't know why I said it in that order. New adult science fiction book, Project Z. We just got through chapter 18, I think right now. Plenty to get caught up on. If you want to go through the chapters, I post 2 every week on Friday, and there's also a discussion video for each chunk of chapters where I talk about the choices that I made, kind of reflecting on the book because I wrote it so long ago, and answering your questions if you send them in, all that kind of stuff. So it's a very like interactive book, and that one is kind of a college-aged Xenon meets The Selection meets World War Z. So that's on my Patreon page. My Patreon page is pay what you can. So no matter what tier you're a part of, you get access to that and everything else that I post over there monthly. And then lastly, I'm gonna make a whole dedicated video on this because I talked about it so long ago that I know we have new people here, or even if you were around for this, you may have forgotten. I feel like the lighting is better over here. That I am hosting a writing retreat in September of this year. So we're actually getting super close to when the cutoff point is going to be. If you want to sign up for that, if you happen to have some time off in September or you're able to, I would love to have you join us. We are going to be in Barcelona for a little under a week for a writing retreat. I'll have all of the information down below, both for the website where you can sign up, and then I also have a video explaining the whole thing, so I'll have that video down below if you want to see it. There is early bird pricing if you're one of the first 10 people to get in there. So there are a couple spots left with that discount, which is like a couple $100s off. And that video down there will explain the whole itinerary, because in addition to writing and stuff, we are traveling quite a bit through Spain. We're doing like a sunset cruise and wine and olive oil tasting and kayaking and all of these really fun activities. And if you want to come, I would love to have you. I think it's going to be a really, really fun time. You don't have to be a writer. The designated writing times you could be reading, everyone is vetted who signs up for it. If you're concerned about who comes on, like everyone has to be approved to be able to go on the trip, so it's not just random people. And I'll also have the frequently asked questions link for the company if you want to know about like refunds and travel insurance and like all of the nitty-gritty things of like how secure and safe is it to be able to sign up for a trip like this. If you have any concerns, they have a lot of resources that I'll link down below that you can look into. Like I said, I'm gonna make an updated video talking all about it. It'll be in September. We only have a few more months for people to swing in and sign up. So it's kind of crazy that it's getting so close. If you want to join us, I would love to have you. I'll be there. My friend Paige will be there. It's going to be a good time. With all that said, if you would like to pre-order Marionettes book 4, that's the only book I have up for pre-order now. Everything else has come out. That's coming out in September also. So yeah, that and links to all my other books are down below in the description. And I will just see you guys in my next video, hopefully very, very soon. Bye. No.